So like always, I want to thank you guys for coming out and covering Penn State football. Really proud of our guys. Battled, were resilient, found a way to get a win, found a way to make plays at critical moments. Denai's play obviously was huge. Keandre's play was huge. Drew responding like that. So I'm just proud of the guys. So obviously we got some things that we got to get cleaned up and corrected. But moving forward, we got to get back to stacking days, stacking wins, and learn from the last 2 weeks' experiences. So appreciate you guys coming out and open up to questions.
We'll go to Rich, and then we'll go to Mark.
You mentioned Drew. Was it somewhat, I don't know, relieving that you were able to hit a deep pass after struggling all year to hit a deep pass in a big situation? And what does it say about Drew that he was able to rebound after the pick?
No, but it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. I wouldn't describe it that way, but yeah, and obviously Drew being able to sit in there and deliver that ball, and Keandre be able to make the play and finish and stay in bounds was awesome. Was awesome. As you guys know, we've talked about it enough, and we've talked about it a bunch. We got to continue to be able to do that. But that was awesome. It was also some pretty good examples of shots we called all the way through the check down. We got explosives there too. No, I'm just too soon. Too soon.
But then Drew, what does it say about Drew that he was able to bounce back from the pick?
Yeah, that's what I think I covered that. I think I said, yeah, it was awesome for Drew as well to deliver that ball in that situation and respond. He's done a great job protecting the football all year long. That was his first interception. Hadn't wanted to talk about it, but I think he broke the record, all-time NCAA record for completions without an interception. Now that's we can move on from that, but I'm proud of him, and that was a big play, and he showed a lot of resiliency.
Brennan, then Allie.
James, to follow up on Rich's question, because I know you love this topic so much, but in all seriousness, what goes through that play? How does that end up unfolding? Is that something that you call from the sideline? Is that an audible? Can you take us through that? Because
On the shot?
On the last one to Keandre, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we called, I don't know, like every game, we probably called 8. Typically when we call a go route, it's not just a go. So it's a read route. If they're off and bailing, then we sit it down in front of them. The one that we threw to Keandre earlier in the game on the crossing route that we missed, that was the same exact play call. They bailed their corners, and obviously we're not just going to throw it. Went to take the checkdowns, the call outs, or however you want to describe them, and then came to Keandre when we missed it. Then we called it again. I think that's the one that we hit K-Tron, and then K-Tron was able to advance the ball up the field. So we've called them every game. We've probably called 10 to 12 shot plays every game.
Allie, then Neil.
James, there was so much emotion after last week and trying to flush it, move on, come back home, perform against Indiana. Can you describe the mental, emotional toll that's on your players playing in the Big Ten, having to respond? Can that be difficult for guys, and how proud are you of what they did today?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. No one cares. Let's be honest. I mean, for me to sit here and say that, I appreciate the question and I understand the question, but no one cares. So for us, we got to find a way to handle adversity during games, adversity during the week, and adversity in life, and rebound and tune out all the other stuff. And I think for the most part, we've done a pretty good job of that. But to your point, is it easy? No, but no one cares.
Neil, and then Andrew Clay.
James, can you assess the defense, particularly when you went up 10 points, regrouped in the second half there? Were they throwing some things at you that maybe you didn't expect, or just overall what you thought of the defense?
No, we just had some blown coverages that we haven't had. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, you make a mistake and the offense doesn't find you when you make the mistake. And we made some mistakes, this game, specifically the one where it's either a corner fire or a linebacker blitz, depending on the formation and the split. And both of them ended up coming. And, we were obviously in trouble. So we made some mistakes this week that are uncharacteristic for us. Got to give Indiana credit. They did a good job. We think that we went into that game feeling like that quarterback's a good player. Thought he played well today. Thought he played really well today. But that's essentially what happened. We blew some coverages and got caught when we blew them.
Andrew, then Todd.
Hey, Coach, back here at the camera. I think you were wearing a play sheet on your belt today. I don't think that is typical of you. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were you more hands-on in play calling today at all as you have been in other games?
Yeah, that play sheet's been on my hip for 13 years. Every game for 13 years.
Todd, then Corey.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Drew. He seemed a little bit more aggressive and tucking the ball under and running a little bit. Is that a result of a conversation from last week's film or looking at something? Or did it just present itself a little bit more today for Drew to tuck it under and run some more?
No, we always want to climb the pocket. Whenever you get pressure, the big mistake you can make is drifting in the pocket, and then obviously it becomes difficult for the offensive tackles. You want to drive up into the pocket, and then that's when you take the checkdowns, and if the checkdowns aren't there, then take off. And, that's where you can, take a second and long and create a third and manageable. So he's done a good job of that. I think he can continue to do that. I think there's some things in the run game where he can help us as well on some of the zone read stuff. If we'll pull it and run it out the backside or pull it and throw it, I think those things will help us as well right now. I think that's some of the things we've talked about. When Bo's in there, they're concerned about that, which has opened some opportunities in the running game, for Potts and some of the backs. So I think we gotta be willing to do more of that.
Corey, then Donnie.
James, you played quarterback. You know what goes into that position. You said a few weeks ago, Drew doesn't need any more firsts. He's played enough. No more firsts, really. But in this situation, to overcome the interception, to get the touchdown, to enjoy that type of moment in the game, can you see this being a little bit of a defining moment for him and how just in his development?
Yeah, I think that's a fair first. That is a legitimate first. You throw your first interception, how are you going to respond from it? And I thought he handled it really well and delivered a big time throw. So yeah, I think that's a positive and something that we can build on. I think the other thing is we got to continue to work at creating separation and getting open at tight end and wide receiver to help with those things. And I think we got to do everything we possibly can from a scheme standpoint as well. But I'm proud of him, and I do think that's a legitimate first to bring up when he threw his first interception today.
Donnie, then Jared.
James, the middle eight was big, I thought, for you guys again. They were driving on the field at the end there with the score 14-14, and Jalen comes up with the interception. How big a play was that, first of all, to kind of set things up for what you guys were able to do at the start of the second half, too?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking situational football, whether it's 4-minute, 2-minute, middle eight, whatever it may be. That was big. And then obviously Jalen not only getting the interception, but almost returning it. That was a big play, and then for us to be able to turn that into some points at the end of the half and then start the second half with some points, that's a real positive. It's something to build on for sure. But yeah, we talk situational football all the time, and that was a big one in this game. I agree with you.
And we'll go to Jared.
Hey, Coach Franklin.
Hey, Joe.
One of the things you guys have been able to do better than most teams in the nation is get after the quarterback. After giving up a couple big plays early, how do you guys remain confident in sending your defensive backs to still get after the quarterback?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I felt like, we've done a really good job all year long of getting people off schedule on first and second down. I don't know if we did that as well today, and that's where the opportunities for pressures and sacks, weren't as maybe common as they've been in the past. But you look at some of our defensive backs as well as some of our linebackers, including the defensive line with the sacks and the pressures. Johnny Dixon, I think, is having a phenomenal year. I don't know if he's getting talked about enough locally or nationally as a blitzer being able to finish sacks, being physical on the perimeter, making plays on the ball. He's having a really good year. I'm proud of him. But yeah, I think whenever you can blitz and be productive from the secondary at the linebacker level, or be able to create those pressures from your down 4 or 3 down if we're in our prowler package, then obviously that makes you difficult to deal with.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, James.